welcome to Take Two Radio Soaps in Review. I'm David, your host, and joining me tonight are Belinda Gates Turner and Carolyn Jenkins. Welcome, ladies. Thank you for joining me this evening.
Thanks, David. Hi.
Welcome, David. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. How's it going with you guys so far? Weather clear?
Yeah. Bright and sunny here in St. Pete, Florida.
Torrential downpours. It just turned to sun here in Atlanta.
Oh.
That's about what we got. Yep. So we had a rainy morning, and it's just clearing up right about now. So, why don't we start with Bold and the Beautiful? Carolyn, give us about 25 minutes. Can you count 25 minutes for me? And maybe it might be less. Okay, you ready? Okay.
Do you want me to keep an eye on the time?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say this. Bill is a jerk. And you take it from there.
Worse than usual. This is like a new low.
I can't.
What bothers me the most that he's been doing lately, this is all about that building, that terrible building. But what's bothering me is him stroking that building. It just feels very phallic and very perverted, and he's always doing it.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one thinking that. I was thinking
they have to be doing it on purpose. It's really creepy.
I mean, it's not like he's hard up. I mean...
Yeah, he just gets really excited thinking about that building. But what I want to know is, with this plot, what is his end game? Does he think that Thomas is going to keep thinking that she's dying and not notice that she's not?
I'm clueless. I thought it would be over by now. I thought maybe she would blow the whistle on it. It looked like she was going to blow the whistle on it.
Yeah, I actually wrote a set of spoilers for next week's, and I do think it's going to be next week when she's going to come clean, because Lindsay Godfrey isn't supposed to be sticking around for that long. So I don't think this shenanigan is going to go on too long. But it's ridiculous.
It is very. I'm one. And is Thomas so dense that he can't tell that he's pulling a fast one?
Right, because Bill is so trustworthy. He hasn't tried anything, else shady lately, and yeah. I mean, I like the look on Carolyn's face when she was hugging Bill. Was it today or yesterday? And he goes, I just told him you're dying. And she's like, what? It's like, that's going to work out.
Yeah, I know. I mean, and now he's off to Monaco with that in his mind.
Right. Thinking she's dying and, yeah. I think this has got to be one of the lazier, more ridiculous plots that I've seen recently on Bold.
Yeah.
He should have talked to Sheila. She could have given him some coaching on a good scheme,
He should have had some. He should have had some thing like that. I mean,
and here's what I want to know: when this comes out, because it'll come out soon, is Brooke going to overlook this? Because she's a huge apologist for whatever man she's with. She rationalizes, she justifies, as long as it's not, screwing her over. She just lets things go. And I just want to know, is she just going to go, that wasn't nice, but okay.
Yeah, I know. I'm just so I'm just so taken aback by this, and I think Thomas is a lot smarter than that.
Yeah, he should be. I mean, he's not. And Bill is just known for being shady. There's you can never trust Bill. Now, this is on the Bill thing. When Bill was in the office with Liam and Steffi and Wyatt, they were all in there together having a discussion about the stuff that was going on with like Quinn and Eric. But that dynamic of those three guys that have all been with Steffi and that are all related and we're all in the same room, I felt like they literally should have had like a painting of an elephant on the back wall, because it's obviously the elephant in the room that's not being addressed. They never, no one ever mentions her with Bill, and then, she was married to Wyatt for half a second, but that just grosses me out so bad every time the four of them are in a room together.
Yeah, it does. It really does. It's just too crowded in that soap right now because it seems like everybody's been with everybody.
Exactly, and that's why it's so nice to have Sally there, because she hasn't been married to any of them.
Right. And I think Courtney Hope has been refreshing.
I was on the fence about her at first, but I have really fallen for Sally 2.0. I like her. I like the part. She's a breath of fresh air. I love that her aunt is always doing tacky stuff, trying to add sequins and feathers to stuff, and I enjoy the whole dynamic.
Yeah, she's trying. They may not be able to actually copy the Stephanie Sally of old, but I don't think there's any way that you can.
Right.
But they're doing a good job with the younger generation as themselves and not having to copy. They're doing their own thing. It's better they do their own thing than try to copy their predecessors.
The other thing on Bold right now that I'm really excited about is Wyatt and Katie. I was the first person to write about that, and I wrote about it like 4 or 6 weeks ago. I just had a feeling it was going to happen just off. There was one little mention, and it tickled my brain, and I wrote about it, and I said that, they're both at loose ends. They're both coming off a divorce. They're both coming off a divorce where their ex married their sibling. They have so much in common. And I got lambasted. Everybody's like, that's disgusting. She's old enough to be his mother. She was his mother. And I'm like, well, first of all, have you not seen Bold and the Beautiful? This is what they do. And she was her stepmother. But that, considering all the shagging that Brooke has done with her daughter's husbands and stuff, it's like, this is absolutely what they do. And then I think it's like Friday, Monday, it's coming up next week with the big kiss. While they're in Monaco, Wyatt kisses her. And I had done my Bold weekly spoilers, and I said, Wyatt will officially be a stepmother kisser next week.
Stepmother kisser.
And I put a little X in front of it. I was like, but still, he's a stepmother kisser. And I'm excited about it. They both need something, and we all know what it is. But I'm excited about it.
He's been missing in action, and he's missing the action.
Yes, exactly. And I think she'd be a lot less interested in being nosy in other people's lives if there was a man in her bed. And so I am very excited for this to get moving.
It is, and it's not too unbelievable because it's not like she raised him either.
Exactly. And I keep telling people, I'm like, she's 8 years older than him. You know, Ridge is like a century older than Carolyn. Yeah. In real life, there's like 8 years between them. She did give birth to his half-brother, but, you know, so what? I mean, to me, the very fact that he and his brother and father have shared the same woman lets me know that Wyatt has no gag reflex about relationships. So it's fine, you know. I am actually waiting for Bill Spencer to find out that his son is with Katie, because that will push Bill's button. I mean, that's going to be a while.
And what would Quinn do? You think that's going to be a while before Quinn finds out?
Quinn is about to have her hands full of 2 handfuls of Ridge, I feel like, because they're both in the process of being extricated and evicted from Eric's life, and the rest of the family is going to be shunning them, and so they're, you know, she's kicked out of Forrester Creations, and they're going to comfort each other, you know. Quidge is definitely happening, so she'll have no room to talk. She'll be hiding her.
You see them getting together, though?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think it's inevitable. I think they'd be crazy if they didn't. People love them together. I mean, in a way, because Ridge he's a piece of work. And I thought he was just, I have disliked him so intently when he was lying to Thomas about Douglas's paternity. I just thought that was so crappy. I hated him so much for that. And then, you know, Quinn, when she had kidnapped Liam and then started having sex with him, it's just like, oh, she's the worst. So they have both been so awful. But when they're together, they're actually better. It's like ick plus ick equals better somehow.
Yeah,
I like them together.
Somehow.
Yeah, they do. They improve each other, and I don't know. And they also both each other know how low the other can go, and I think they're a great couple. And more believable than her with Eric, because she, you know, I don't know. I think Eric just took her. It was a very Pygmalion thing. Like, he took her on as a project, you know, a fixer-upper.
Yeah, he is. And let's talk. That's one thing about. Did you see today's? Yeah.
I don't know. I lost track. I was catching up a bunch. What happened today, and I'll tell you if I saw it or not.
Well, Ridge went to find Eric and followed him over to the hotel. And,
I saw about 5 minutes of it. Yeah.
Okay. This was for me. This was one of 2 stunning performances by John McCook and Torsten Kay. Torsten's tears as John, as Eric was saying, "I can't be your father anymore," I swear were actually real. I mean real. Torsten didn't have to say a word, and those tears just came down, and that's how they... And then without a sound or anything like that, Ridge just walked out of the hotel.
I'm going to have to watch that right after this. Yeah, I got a couple minutes in, and then life crept up on me. This whole thing, because the the other day when he called him Massimo's son, was that like maybe last week? And that
it was.
That was like Ridge took that like a slap in the face. He responded viscerally. Torsten K is doing a great job.
Yes.
And that's why I know he's such a great actor, because when he was doing the whole thing with lying about Douglas, I just hated him. I just wanted to throw him off a balcony. And now I just, want to give him a big hug, even though he did screw up and he kind of deserves this. He's a great actor.
He is. He knows how to carry it. He knows how to carry a scene, carry the room. He can put the full weight of the show on his shoulders and run.
Yeah, and Rena Sofer is a great scene partner for him, because she's very strong. She's very strong. I like them together. I look for it, and if Bold, they are going to have them together because they've been building this for so long. If for some reason they didn't let Quitch have their day, I think they would pay for it in the ratings.
Yeah, I think so, and it seems that's what I think that's going to be what's going to pull them up a little bit in the ratings. There are those two. Right now,
I think so.
Now they're the ones. Their one's more star-crossed, but this does have you do have a pull in both directions, which this is what a fine triangle is, in my opinion, where you want to root for both sides. You want to root for her to get back with Eric because it's just beautiful. It was a beautiful relationship, and you want to root for the other end too. You want to root for her and Ridge because it's the same. I mean, I see him as an equal, as a balance. So that's what makes it for me.
You're right.
What about?
Well, and then throwing Sheila into the mix makes it more compelling, because even for those people that think that Quinn is awful, she's 1,000% less sinister than Sheila.
Yeah.
So you can see it's like, well, I don't know. I guess Quinn's tried to kill people too. I don't know. But Quinn has reformed herself. Quinn, I do think that Quinn has turned over a new leaf, and I don't think Sheila has. I think Sheila's just as batcrap crazy and scary as she always has been. So if it's a choice, and I think even for like Steffi, it's like Steffi didn't like, she had come around to the whole Quinn thing, and she doesn't like what she's done, but Steffi recognizes that Sheila is so much worse as a reality for Eric. So. And it's so much more interesting than where they were heading, because you could tell they were kind of setting up Katie with Eric, and then obviously they talked to Kimberlyn Brown and, sealed that deal, and then they were like, we'll give her to Wyatt. We'll give her to Wyatt. He needs to get laid. So I'm happy with that.
I'm happy too. But there's a couple people that probably need somebody. I think Ivy needs somebody. She's all by herself, the poor thing.
Can't they put her with Carter? We don't get enough scene time with Carter, and any time that Carter is shirtless is prime viewing time for me. And Ivy needs to stay away from Liam and from Wyatt. She needs something new and fresh, and I think Carter. That's my vote.
We can tweet that to them.
Tweet it to them and say,
I think it would be nice. She's the only one without somebody, and I mean, no, I can't say that. Shirley doesn't have anybody, and Saul and Darla don't have anybody, but
see, Saul and Darla could have each other. you know.
Oh.
All right, I'm going to, as far as I'm concerned, because they're already over there, I'm going to tweet Bold right now. Hey, B&B, can you please hook up Ivy and Carter? Thanks.
Go ahead.
Just a little love letter to them. Thanks. There you go. All right, I tweeted it.
Just a little
They'll be
love
on
letter.
that next week. Yeah, just a little love letter. Hey,
Carolyn, how are we doing
good
on
idea.
time?
Another 5 minutes. You're doing good.
Okay, good. We can stop right there then. And that's good. Why press it? Okay. On to Days of Our Lives.
Oh. Who's been watching?
Not
I have,
me. That's
and
not
guess who else has?
Who?
I have been watching a little, but not enough to make any sort of educated commentary.
Okay. And David, have you had time to watch?
Yes, I have. And what do you think, Carolyn?
Well, it's getting pretty good.
Ron's work started on the 19th.
Okay, and can you tell what storylines he's...
I see a big difference.
Now, whose storyline stands out more to you?
Right now, I can see the focus. Right now, I see the focus on Ron wants to bring Chad and Abby back together.
Yeah, yes, and it's getting quite interesting. I was surprised when Dario said he wanted to take Abby into the witness protection program. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
And what I don't understand is how he can actually say he loves her from what he's doing. I mean,
yeah, it's a little hard to believe, and she's going to leave Thomas back with Chad and Gabby. But I think Chad he knows that there's something not right.
something isn't right, and poor Theo's got to delete that photo
because it incriminates Chad, and Chad doesn't know yet that she's protecting him.
And Abe has the laptop. Well, as of yesterday, he had the laptop. I didn't see it today yet. So,
okay. Well,
did Theo's laptop back?
Well,
did he get it back?
No, Kate and Andre have come up with some story that they have to get it back, and I think Abe is going to back down, and he's really angry over them bringing Theo into the DiMera mix, and Chet said no, it's fine, and we would never compromise his his well-being, and so today it kind of calmed down, so that's a good thing. But I'm looking forward to, with the Abby and Chad, the mix there. I've heard that Robert Scott Wilson is coming back.
Well, let me see. Let me go to Belinda. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Can you look it up for us?
What am I looking up?
Robert Scott Wilson returning to days.
Now, I don't know whether Abby's going to go into her depression again. You've heard that she gets hit by a car, right?
Yes, that's coming up,
Yeah,
I believe.
Yeah,
Either
she's going to. Yeah,
today's
yeah.
or Monday.
She's going to save Chad, and but I've heard that Ben's coming back now. Whether it's going to be her hallucinating, because he was always the one that kind of threw her off the edge.
Yeah, there's nothing official. They're saying that the chatter is because of something he tweeted. So I'm pulling that up. I'm going to the source. Because it's what I'm seeing is from a website that's,
Oh,
it's one of the. Was a questionable website?
It's one of those that trades mostly in fan fiction. So I am looking to see.
Well, I would like to see him come back. I thought he was. A lot of people didn't like his storyline, but I thought he did an excellent job. And I know he has been out on the tours.
Yeah, he has been on the tours. Do you want to, since Belinda is new Carolyn, yes, how would you like to catch her up on Robert Scott Wilson's character?
Now, I know he doesn't know. Was he the necktie killer?
Yes.
He was.
Yeah.
Yes.
That I knew, but that's about it. I know that he was
And he's the one who supposedly killed Will.
Right, and Will's coming back, right?
Yeah.
They say,
That's what they say.
They say he is.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, serial killer victim back. Must be a soap opera. Okay.
I'm just trying to figure out how they're going to bring them back, what the scenario is going to be on bringing them back.
Well,
especially Will, because he was.
Well, now I can speak to Ron Carlivati and how he does things. On General Hospital, he resurrected a child who was run down by a drunk driver. We saw him flatline in surgery with surgeons we knew, and then they took out one of his kidneys and gave it to a dying baby, and then, like 8 years later, they brought him back from the dead. And he brought him back. He brought him back right as he was leaving the show, and so they had to figure out how to explain the resurrection. But if Ron Carlivati wants someone back from the dead, by God, they are coming
He's
back.
He's going to do it.
If they have to be a zombie staggering the streets, he will make it happen. So they've had to do all this insane backstory, and it turned out that there was a second kidney, blah, blah, blah. He will bring them back, and he will just tell you, he will write something and say, just live with it. And if you like the character, you go, okay, I'll live with it. It's fine.
Well, so he has his ways.
Yeah, he just does it because he wants it back, and it's like, hey.
Yeah.
And I can see Ron's humor. Yeah, I can see Ron's humor because with Hattie, Marlena, and Bonnie and Adrian thing. He's famous for that.
Oh, he's hilarious.
Can you, David, now that you've mentioned that, can you fill me in on the Marlena Hattie situation? Like, where did Hattie come from?
Hattie was from prison. She was in prison with Hope, and she helped her escape.
Okay, and Hope did Hope
escape.
think? Okay, so she knows Hattie. Okay, and she knows that Hope knows that Hattie looks a lot like Marlena?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They met, and I think she was on before this, too. Because Hattie had a thing, Andre had screwed her over some time ago, and she wants to get back. So that's what happened there. And I know that Hope tried to get Hattie out of prison. And I love it that she got worked in the Angelica story. I knew there was more to just the paper. I knew that there was more than just the paper that Angelica was after, and it was just a mask.
Well, now Angelica has to get Hattie to become more of a lady. She says that she's going to have to work on her attitude to pass as Marlena. It was quite funny this week.
She's got to. Now, I'm a little unclear on Bonnie. Can you give me a rundown on Bonnie?
On Bonnie?
I can't. On Lockhart.
No, I can't. I can't help you there.
You can't?
No.
Oh, we're both in the dark here. All I know is that she married Mickey Horton while Maggie was supposedly dead.
Now, what's the connection?
No, none now because they don't know each other.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think Angelica wants to use her to get back at Adrian, so because Angelica wants Justin back.
All right.
And I don't know.
Well, she explained all that to Hattie the other day. It was quite a mix.
So they're both.
You're going to get
angry.
they're both going to get they're going to both get the love of their life. Now, who is Hattie in love with?
Hattie likes Roman.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So Angelica wants Hattie to break up Marlena and John.
Yep.
So that Hattie will Hattie will have a chance. So Hattie will have a chance with Roman. Well,
right, yeah. That's it. But I don't know. I can't figure that out. I can't figure what the angle is, why she needs her for. Unless she sees Marlena as, the symbol of reason in the town and like that, maybe. And if everyone goes with her. But the thing is, if Bonnie is going to take over for Adrian, I don't see the good in that because Adrian is with Lucas.
Right. She's kind of
and Justin doesn't have anybody.
Yeah, but Justin, he got the money for.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, for the paper. So and I think she thinks it was Lucas. So they're trying to break them up.
Yeah. But Justin was altruistic, and I don't know. How do you think Adrian will feel if she found out it was Justin who did that? made sure of it.
Well, yeah,
you think
I
she'll
don't
be
think
angry?
she kind of had. She said the other day about a knight in shining armor, and he was all flustered because he thought that she thought it was him, and then she went back at him and said, "Oh, I was thinking that it was Lucas." So, because he backed out and said, "Oh no, I didn't do it," and she says, "Why would you think that I thought it was you?" So I think she would be very upset if she found out. He got to the banker, and the banker did him a favor.
You think so?
Yeah, he got a hold of the banker and said, don't let her know where the money's coming from. And he did him a favor, getting the money over to her.
Yeah.
So she's thrilled. She's got the paper, and of course Angelica knows that she can't understand where she got the money from. Who? So she's gonna dig a little deeper to find that out.
Okay, so the next thing, we got Steve getting close to finding Ben going after Kayla. Do you think he knows right now, as of today's episode?
No, not as of today. But Tripp keeps showing up, and was asking Steve, if he's got any more information. But Steve has a list of who were on the same shifts and would have access to Kayla's patient list. So they're going down the list now. And obviously Tripp was, he was on duty.
Is Tripp on the list? Is Tripp on his list?
Yeah, not quite. They're kind of going after the other nurse that they think is setting her up, but it isn't. She's just a bitch, but she's not setting Kayla up.
No, I didn't think so.
No. That's kind of just to throw everybody off.
And so what I hear down the road, that it's getting pretty, it's going to get pretty dark for Kayla and Tripp. It's either probably sometime next week that switchblade's going to come out on her.
Oh, so he's going to get
he's going to get really hard time. I don't think he'll be able to contain himself.
And what about Joey? Now, isn't Joey leaving? Or is that all?
I think that is true. He is. I'm thinking end of August.
Okay, because they're showing him. They're showing him a. They're showing him a lot, and he's involved in trying to convince Tripp, that Kayla's, a good mother, and Tripp's trying to contain himself. He said today, no, she's not all that. She's not all that good. So
his final days will be in August.
Okay.
According to the interwebs.
So it's coming up. So there may be a confrontation between Tripp and Kayla, and he may step in. So you say you think the knife is going to come out, David?
Yep, I do for sure. I think it's next week. Monday or Tuesday, I'm almost.
And when is Kristen coming back?
Belinda, you have do they have a calendar for Eileen Davidson returning?
Well,
today?
Now, did they confirm that it's Kristen? Because I was hearing that it wasn't confirmed because she's got more than one character over there. I'm looking to see if we have a date.
We don't know who she's coming back as, but
she's supposed to be returning. She's supposed to be shooting now, which puts her at Christmas, is what I read.
Oh, okay.
Because they shoot so far ahead.
Right.
Yeah. So, but I still don't think that they have, they've revealed what they're going to do with her. So, but whatever it is, she's, it's not going to be, she's still on Y&R and isn't, she stepped out of Real Housewives, but she's still going to be at Y&R, so it's not, going to be something front and center for a long time. So probably a healthy guest arc. Ron is being smart with how he's using people. Bring her in, get some bang for the buck, and then cut her loose again. So I think it's going to be a catch
and then bring her back
from everything we've seen. Yeah.
Yep. Just a grab.
They've got so many coming back. Sammy's coming back, and Eileen Davidson. We don't know how she's coming back or who she's coming back as. Will's coming back. I'm just wondering where they're all going to fit into the mix.
Yes, Sammy's supposed to be back for 2 months.
2 months only. Okay.
That's the prevailing, unless something changes. But 2 months, and then Eileen, who knows? Maybe a few weeks, maybe a week. I mean, with it being around Christmas, it might be a special event thing. So. Right.
Now, David, who do you think killed who's the killer this time?
Who do I think killed Deimos?
Yes.
Oh, God. Right now, it looks like it's too obvious to be Xander.
Well, I was surprised when Dario came out with the picture of Chad, and then Abby said, no, I was with him. I was with him the whole time. And then she started thinking back, and she wasn't. He was missing for a little while.
Well, let's see what happens. Ron is playing. Ron was smart. And I'm going to paraphrase Ron right now. And Belinda, you can help me out on this one. When he said, when Ron came on board, they had already taped Deimos's death.
Demise, okay.
Right? So he came on, and it was his idea to bring more people into it. So he throwing Chad and Abby into this now. Any one of them could have done it. Because they were on the Halo. So if I'm thinking correctly, I'm going to say it was probably, I'm going to say whoever Dario's partner was.
Well, that's going to come out. Yeah, that's going to come out this week.
You think it's coming out this week? Oh.
Yeah. Who do you think his partner is?
Lieutenant Raines.
Oh.
My thinking with that is, one, he hired Abigail
Right.
2, he's awfully big on taking over the town, and he's very rough on Hope during all that mess.
Yeah.
And I can't think of anyone else. I wouldn't. There are thoughts out that it's our Eduardo. There's thoughts on Andre. There's thoughts on Kate. But I don't think. I think it's a secret partner. I don't know about Xander. There was even thoughts about Xander being a secret partner, but if his secret partner, I think, is Lieutenant Raines, then I think that's why they're keeping it secret, just between him and the FBI now. So we know Eli knows.
Yeah, and then he's all of a sudden given Lanny a nice position, and it kind of to keep an eye on that side of it, the family, because she's with JJ.
Yeah. And I can't think. I don't think. Yeah, that's where I'm going there. Actually, I hope that. Well, Jordy, as we found out, is due to exit soon.
Yeah, I read that somewhere. So, he said it's always his storyline's really good, and he's becoming more forceful, and now he's leaving.
Yeah. And Belinda, we have a date on Jordy Villasuso. I know we mentioned it last night.
Yeah, let me look and see.
Belinda's our encyclopedia.
Oh.
The fast typist. Let's see. His exit date?
I know he's already. Yeah, his last exit air.
Yeah, let's see. I know that's the problem with predicting days stuff is take everything and add 180 days and then see what that's close to.
You have to be a mathematician.
It says, now this is interesting. Okay. This is from a pretty legit site, and it says his last air date is this month. It says he will last air this month. That means he would have been gone for 6 months.
Mm-hmm. So 31st?
Yeah. I mean, the article's dated July. I'm going to, let's see. Okay, he posted on Instagram on July 19th, "It's true, my days with a capital D are numbered. I've wanted to speak on this for a while, but out of respect and love for the show, I've stayed quiet." Okay, so he's been gone a while, but he wasn't talking about it because of their shooting schedule.
Right.
And he said, "It's been a hell of a ride, #DOOL, #next chapter." So, yeah, so that, I mean, you know, that could be July, that could be August, but it's imminent.
And no indication how he's exiting. Well, I guess something's going to happen in the next week or so.
We know how he's exiting.
Oh, you do?
To go.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I would think that's how he goes. How they mentioned yesterday that he gets the witness, he goes into witness protection.
Oh, so then he could come back.
He could, if Ron lets him.
The great thing about witness protection is he could come back, or they could bring somebody else back in the part, because they could just say they gave him surgery and witness protection.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
It is a soap.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is. It is a soap.
But it looks like,
happen.
yeah. It looks like Abby's not going to go with him in the witness protection program, though.
No.
Because she's going to get hit by a car. And I guess he's going to have to go. Okay.
Yep. That's it. Okay, and now, Belinda, exit date on Ariana Zucker?
Let me see.
I know she's gone, but when's her last air?
Yeah, officially.
Let's see.
Oh, and has she found Eric's love letters yet?
She found them. Yes.
She did. Okay.
And she forgave him.
She's also done. Let's see.
She was done.
She was done, and then they extended her time for a little bit.
Right.
She shared on Instagram in June a fun video from her last week.
Right. That was from last month, am I right?
Yeah, I'm still poking around. Let's see.
Belinda, are you on Instagram?
I'm not.
She is, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm not on Instagram. I'm on, everything else. But
I'm shocked.
It seems like a lot. Yeah, a lot of them are on Instagram.
I monitor. I know. I officially have a log on. I don't post to Instagram. I read off Instagram all the time. I'm just not an Instagram-y kind of gal. But I do. I watch a lot of soap actors on Instagram because they post interesting stuff on there. All right.
On there, but
I'm not finding an exit date for her.
Not yet, huh?
No.
So we're in a quandary. I don't want Greg Vaughn to leave.
No, he just came back.
Nothing. Yeah, and so that means I don't want her to leave with him, and I don't want her to leave with Eric Clarksoff either.
Yeah.
Aren't they awful? I don't want her to leave either.
I don't want her to leave, period.
I wonder if they're going to make Nicole the killer.
You never know. It'll be interesting how she does exit. And I hope it's on a high because she deserves a good storyline on the way out.
Yeah, she does, and I got to tell you, Belinda, Dina, and Ryan could have done better by her.
Yeah?
With this storyline.
Yeah, a lot better. A lot better.
She had a long-going story about a daughter that her friend Chloe was a surrogate for her and Daniel Jonas, and there was so much of a fight with little Holly that she never told her until she went to jail, and then there's all this rigmarole about Chloe wouldn't give her up because she didn't like who she was seeing in her thing, and then finally when Chloe gave her back, the baby's now stuck in foster care for 2 months. So I'm thinking before she goes, she'll probably have Holly with her. Maybe she'll go on a happy note.
Maybe not, or maybe
But,
Holly
yeah.
will be in foster care for 10 years. And
Yeah.
If the soaps last that long, she'll be coming back out of foster care.
Well, we do know that Ariane has a scene with Allie Sweeney.
Oh.
Coming up. So we know it's in October, Allie. And Allie is done taping. She did her 2 months already, so that's coming up. Yeah, Belinda. Dina and Ryan could have done better by her. She deserved a lot better storytelling.
Well, she seems to be okay about it. She just did a Soap Digest interview and said she was open to coming back. So maybe that's probably because it's Ron now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Give it a try under the new writer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the interview I saw her, she was done. She and in real life, isn't she with Daniel, Sean?
In real life, she is with Sean Christian. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's doing isn't she on Ladies of the Lake?
She is on Ladies of the Lake.
Yeah. So she's moving on in some ways. I mean, she'll do good.
She'll do good.
But she didn't like the way they got rid of Daniel. I mean, the fans love Daniel, and they said that he wanted to leave, and he said not really.
No.
So maybe when she leaves, it'll all come out.
Oh, it did all come out. She said that he did not leave on his own. He was asked to leave.
Yes. But they were saying way back, oh no, he wants to leave, and he's doing more directing and that and the other thing. And then she came out and said, no, that's not the case. But he's been coming back in her dreams, right? A little bit here and there.
Yeah, they just saw that when they were under the halo. When she and Eric were under the halo, he came to them.
Yeah.
So,
well, it looks like it's going to be quite exciting in the next month or so. Hopefully they will reveal the killer soon, because it's dragging out too long now.
Yeah, I think it is. Ryan is good. Ryan is still with the show, Ryan Kwan, and I like to say one thing about him. He is a contest winner, if I'm not mistaken. And he won. Yeah, I guess he won like a writing contest, and I think the prize was to be on the writing team of a soap opera. I can't be too sure, but there wasn't much on him. But I do remember that he's like fresh out of school, basically, almost. I'm going to say, if not older, in his 20s at least.
Wow, he won a contest. Good for him.
Yeah, and he's a good historian. But he's still with the show, working with Ron. So
some fresh blood. That's what it needs.
Okay, to finish off days, Belinda read us a report on last night's show. And who is back filming for Christmas, Belinda?
Oh my gosh. You're asking me to recall that. You were asking me to recall something less than 24 hours ago? That's just craziness.
You want me to?
You go ahead, and I'm pulling up my stuff.
Now, David, on the show last night. Now, what do you do on that show? Are you reviewing the soaps as well, or certain?
No,
shows?
it's live of the actors outside of the show, like wedding announcements, death in the family, who's coming, who's going, contract status. It's all that.
Okay.
Everything but story.
Okay. All the comings and goings off the show.
Yeah. But as she reported, Martha Madison and Brandon Beamer are back, and they are filming. They are taping.
Okay.
And when did we say that we'll see them? We'll see them around the holidays?
Yeah, I think so. I'm pulling it up now. Yeah, there isn't a firm date, but what we were saying was basically they just started filming, so it's now plus 6 months. So it's
the just in time.
So,
and from what we found out, we don't see a Sierra as of yet.
No.
Coming back.
Oh. I was hoping
as
it would be
yet.
Theo and Sierra, so it doesn't look like that's in the mix. That's too bad.
At least not yet.
No.
At least not yet.
Well, there's rumor, so, you know.
But they're replacing her.
Right, that if she's back, it'll be a recast. Brandon Beamer is so cute. That's just an aside. That has nothing to do with news, but he's just gorgeous. I didn't even watch Days, but I fell in love with him years ago on Dirty Soap. Do y'all remember that reality show?
He was on Bold.
Well, that was before I started watching Bold, but Dirty Soap was the reality show. It had Kelly Monaco and Kirsten Storms and Brandon Beamer and Nadia Borland. Yeah. I fell in love with him on Dirty Soap from his real life with Nadia, and he's just captivating. One more reason for me to continue watching Days.
There you go.
and to learn all the character names. That's what's getting me. It's like it's like stepping into Game of Thrones. It's like stepping into Game of Thrones and trying to figure out the population of Westeros. It's like I don't know who these people are. So I'm trying. I did it with all the other soaps, you know.
Well, that was good. Okay, so that was our Days talk. Carolyn, I wish you stay on and be our timer.
Yes, I will.
Okay.
What are you going on to?
Are we going to GH
about
now?
25 minutes. GH, yep. Give us about 25 minutes, Carolyn.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay.
There is...
All right. You guessed it.
So much GH.
Toxoplasmosis.
Toxoplasmosis. And that's another one where the problem is I get these tingles and I write these articles and I write them like 6 weeks before it happens and everybody's like, that's crazy, you're crazy, you're making crap up. And then I don't want to say, well, you'll be eating your words in 6 weeks because what if I'm wrong? I like to wait until it actually happens to say I told you so and then pull up my tweet from 6 months ago and say, see, I told you so. Toxoplasmosis, and everybody's like all upset. They're like, they don't have a cat. We talked about this last night. They don't have a cat. And it's like animal feces. The world is literally full of animal feces. And you don't want to think about it on a soap. You want to think about making out in pretty dresses, but there's poop everywhere. And she gave birth in that gross ravine, and something ran down her leg. So they're bringing in Scout to test her, and I'm assuming they had a discussion today about if she got it while she was pregnant, that the baby could be sick. But I actually did extensive research, and if she got it while giving birth, which makes sense, that she got it in that fetid ick that she gave birth in, then the baby won't have it, or if she does have it, it'll be a really mild case. If a baby gets it while the mom is pregnant and it's like gestating with it, it's horrible. It's like bad things happen, and they're not going to do that to Scout. They're not going to do that.
No, they can't do that because she didn't get it while she was pregnant. Well, just that one time we know that she was with them, right? I mean, how could she pass it on to her?
Well, if the mother has it while she's pregnant, like to go into the science of the actual medical condition, pregnant women aren't supposed to clean cat litter boxes. You do, and then the mother catches it, and the infection crosses the blood barrier, and the fetus gets infected, and then it's really bad because it like percolates for the rest of the pregnancy. But she didn't get that, while she was pregnant. Not at all. I don't think so.
So it had to have been during the delivery.
During that gross delivery. Yeah.
So, Carolyn, what we're trying to say is we have this one heroine who gave birth in not such a sanitary place.
Okay.
Her evil aunt kicked her off a bridge.
Outside. Yeah, she was thrown off a bridge into a ravine.
Yeah.
And went into labor.
And it was a miracle birth. Toxoplasmosis,
miracle birth,
which is given her toxoplasmosis encephalitis caused by the parasite Toxoplasmosis gondii. So, GH loves their science-y stuff. I think they sit around and like drink in the writers' room and look up things on WebMD. That's my theory. But I could be wrong, but I don't think I could be wrong.
And it's new. And
well, have you ever gone on WebMD? Have you ever gone on WebMD?
All the time. And you can't. If you look at any symptom, you look at any symptom and you've got cancer. So you really should never go on WebMD. And if you know what you have and you go on there to look it up, that's fine. But you never want to go on there and shop symptoms because everything comes back to cancer and aneurysm. So obviously Sam Morgan on GH did not. I don't think they have WebMD in Port Charles because they also don't have Google. They've got this crappy search engine called Spider Finder with a Y.
Yes.
And that's how they look things up in Port Charles. And so if they have, I'm assuming they don't have WebMD.
Well, I think they might be onto something because that's just a typical search, and we all know it. You go in there to search for one thing, and half an hour later you what's this here?
Right.
What's this here? And then I said, I forgot what I went on here for.
Well, to be fair, she has neurological symptoms, and she is actively hallucinating people, so I don't even think that Google is on her mind. Her brain is addled, and she just shot somebody and she shot the local mob boss, who's actually a friend of hers, and kicked him into a pit, and he's not doing well. He's like, it's like the Silence of the Lambs scenes where he's at the bottom of the pit and, lotion in the bucket. So, but the diagnosis is official. So, Caspin's an infectious disease specialist, and I do like when today she was doing a really good job having her, acting like she was having a seizure, and Jason wouldn't shut up and let them save her. He was like, tell me what's happening. Tell me what's wrong. Tell me what's happening. It's like, but you can't tell him to leave the room because he's a former hitman, the dangers of the people in Port Charles. So that was, I'm glad that they have.
Have a hospital storyline. Yeah.
You need the hospital and the mob in the same storyline. on General Hospital. They need to. Which is the good news is people get shot all the time. Sonny, the head of the local mob, literally gets shot at least once a year. I don't know how he has any organs left and how the wind doesn't whistle as he walks through it from all the holes in his body. He should be human Swiss cheese by now, but then he's got shot again and he's in a pit, so yay. But the good news is it keeps the doctors busy, so that's yay.
Right. That's we got to keep the doctors busy.
So today, we only saw a second of it, but the other mobster that was after Sonny that threw like a tarp over the pit, so he's down there now. Garvey tried to kidnap Liz, and Carly tomorrow is going to kick his ass. She isn't going to have that. She is going to kick him into next week, and Liz is like 5 feet tall. Carly is like, I don't know, 5'10". She's going to beat him down because he's been shot and save her, which is nice because it's nice that it's not a man doing it, So.
Yeah, a woman saving a woman.
Yeah, I mean, it's empowering. It's nice, I do like that, as I had said, that her kidnapping, which it's a 30-second kidnapping, so, it's not Obrecht like some websites that knit fiction said it was, and, I knew it wasn't going to be. And so that's saved, and he's going to go into surgery tomorrow, but before he does, he's going to tell Carly that Sonny's dead, that he killed him, he's dead. So the only person that knows where he is, well, they both know where it is, but Garvey isn't going to say. There's also this big thing swirling, I don't know if you know this, David, but that someone on GH is supposed to die. But based on and so everybody's freaking out, and some people are saying, oh, it's going to be Sam, she's going to die. Sam's not dying. I have spoilers for her for August.
Yes.
She's fine.
You do?
Scout, there's no way.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. Sam's fine. Kelly Monaco. There's this rumor that's bubbled up that Kelly Monaco is leaving to start a beauty company. That is literally a rumor from like 3 years ago. Yeah, that's hogwash. She's not going anywhere. Yeah, it's like this old rumor that someone dug back up, like they Googled her and thought it was something new and decided to write about it. I don't know, but it's crazy. Yeah, she's not going anywhere. They're not going to kill Scout. They wouldn't do that. They're probably going to kill Garvey. I think he might die. That would be my guess. Or it's going. Anytime they say on General Hospital that someone dies, 99.9% of the time, it's an extra that no one cares about. It's someone random. The mob witness that got overdosed in the parking lot. It's something like that. So
now,
nobody
are the fans happier with what's going on with General Hospital? Because I know a little bit of tweets that I saw a couple of months ago. They were not happy. Has it kind of settled down?
It's interesting because, Steve Burton, they are heavily leveraging Steve Burton's return and hoping it to pull up ratings because General Hospital was where it was like teetering in the 2.0 and the 1.9 on the ratings, where like, and now it's hitting 1.8, it's hitting 1.7, it is down like more than 50,000 people last year. So they let Rebecca Budig go to free up money to buy Steve Burton. And Steve Burton's return is extremely polarizing because there's a whole bunch of people that love Billy Miller as Jason, and they don't want Steve back as Jason. And then there's a whole population of people that are saying, if Steve comes back and he's not Jason, I'm never watching this show again. So I actually read something. It's extremely polarizing in both directions, and everybody's not going to be happy. But General Hospital fans like to be unhappy. They like to kvetch about things. But Gene Passanante did an interview with Soap Opera Digest, and I wrote about it today. And I said that I feel strongly that Steve isn't going to come back as Jason, at least at first, because what she said was that they're bringing him in and it will not go unnoticed that he resembles old Jason. So if it doesn't go unnoticed, so people are going to notice that he looks like Jason. That's not saying
so they're
that
not going
to
to
me is saying it's not Jason. You know, it's the language. It's the same kind of stuff they did when they brought back Michael Easton as Hamilton Finn, and people were like, "Oh, you look like Silas Clay, that dead doctor," because she said it will not go unnoticed. People will remark on it. If you don't remark on, hey, he looks like Jason, if he is Jason, right?
Right.
Do you see my point?
Yeah.
If she's telling the truth, if she's not just totally lying to Soap Opera Digest, and they're going to justify it later because it was a surprise, you know, the way that this interview was worded. But at the same time, it was a short little interview. What she said to me makes it sound almost like he's going to come back as someone else, and then they'll realize maybe he's Jason. But what I did say in my article today is they can explain the DNA away, because if they were twins, they would have the same DNA. That's fine. They can explain away the facial reconstruction program that Spinelli did that took apart Jake Doe's face and took it back and said, oh, he used to look like, Steve Burton. That's fine, too. What they can't explain is why Billy Miller's Jason has Jason Morgan's memories. They can try. You can say that it's mind control and this and that, but the only person who had Jason's memories was Jason. So it's not like on a sci-fi movie where you hook up colanders on their heads with coiled wires between them and transfer his memories, So that and I put that down. I actually had. Yeah, well, I actually one of my subheaders in my article was "Thanks for the memories, GH," because I said you can't explain this away. Now they can ignore it, they can lie about it, they can do a retcon and rewrite history, but that is the big sticking point for me of why bringing him back as Jason and Billy Miller still. Yeah, it's crazy, but them being twins is totally plausible, because Heather said years ago that Susan Moore gave birth to twins, and she tried to pass Franco off as Jason's twin, and he wasn't. But she could have been telling a half-truth that there were twins, but it wasn't Franco. And that's fine if Steve Burton blows into town and they're like, oh, hey, you look like this guy who doesn't look like that anymore because he got hit by a car and had surgery. We can show you family photos. So he could be Jason's twin, who was supposedly sold at birth, and they bring him back. So what he is Bob Quartermain, because he doesn't have a name, so he could be Bob, and he was Jason's twin, but it to me is implausible that he is Jason. But what really worries me is Jean Passanante said she's done as of today. I don't know if you saw the tweet, David.
Yes, I did. I tweeted her back.
Okay. Well, I tweeted back, but my tweet wasn't as nice as yours. My tweet was in a nutshell, good riddance. I think I said thank the soap powers that be, because she argues with fans about history when they know history better than her. That's my issue with Jean. You can write whatever you want. Write it. Ron Carlivati writes what he wants, and he says live with it. I changed it. Just deal. And that's okay. That's okay. You do that, but you don't tell me that I don't know the history of my show and disrespect me. That's right. My issue with Jean. So I was not happy. Yeah, I was happy to see. But the bad news about her timing is the last thing she tweeted, at the point that she tweeted a couple weeks ago, she said they were writing scripts for September. So she may have written scripts through like October. That means I've got Jean crap to look at for months. into the fall. And I did write something about this. It was a critical piece, and I said that I am worried that this Jason thing is her middle finger to fans on her way out the door, because the whole Twitter debate that raged centered on Jason and his history. You remember that, David? We talked about that yesterday, I think, where they said he was never on that island, and she said, "How do you know?" And the fans showed her video of how they know. Video and pictures of CAROLYN. This guy was frozen, because they freeze people in General Hospital and then bring them back like in Star Wars. Yeah. It wasn't in carbonite, but same idea. So he was frozen, and periodically they would have a picture of someone in a lab. There would be a scene, and someone's in a lab standing next to like the egg he's frozen in, And then other characters that were involved in the freezing process, other Cassidines, would say, "Oh yeah, Jason's still frozen over at blah 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 lab." And so then they wrote the plot where at the same time that he was a human popsicle, that he was on this island in Greece being Helena Cassidine's personal hitman. And that was the point she decided to argue on and said, "You don't know, you don't see everything, things happen off screen." Oh, okay, so they were like freezing him and unfreezing him like he was a turkey leg? Come on. Let's thaw him out. Let's thaw him out and have him go kill someone and then put him back in the freezer till Easter, It's ludicrous. So, I'm interested. I told you this last night, Dave. We talked about it. I really hope that they do the Claudia Zakara thing, and he's someone else, and then let us get to know him as, Dario Black Shadow. Give him a good, name. Yeah. Let us get to know him. Let him be a rival mobster, whatever. And then in a few months, something happens, and we find out he's Jason's twin. And so he's still a Quartermain, and he's pseudo-Jason, but he's not Jason because Billy Miller has renewed his contract, and he's Jason, and the science has proved he's Jason, and he's got memories, and so that's the best hope. And
I come up with an idea for that.
Okay, let's hear it.
This is my idea. I think he's related to Garvey.
Oh. Well, Garvey's got a dead brother, but Garvey is in some mob thing. See, I'm really hoping that Steve plays a mobster who comes to town to take over now that Sonny's trying to get out of the mob.
Maybe
because he was
another
so good.
Of Garvey.
Yeah, he was so good as a mobster. He was stone cold. I mean, Steve Burton was stone cold. He was great. I would love to see that nuance again from him. But and it's not so much that I have anything against him coming back as Jason, or that I'm so totally married to Billy Miller as Jason. Although I do really like Billy Miller, it's the implausibility that bothers me, and the tinkering of history that will be required to make him Jason. That's my sticking point. So,
and the fans
see.
The fans aren't going to like it. It sounds like they would be very upset.
Right, and see that to me is what's interesting. Is like there's like literally based on comments and stuff I see on Twitter, it feels like half of the fans are going to be mad if he's Jason, and half of the fans are going to be mad if he's not Jason. So it seems like they might, gain 10 steps and then lose 10 steps. And so they spent, I don't know, more than $1 million based on the rumors, because it was a 7-figure deal is what I've heard, to bring him in to maybe have ratings not move at all.
Oh.
I don't know. I mean, it's a big gamble. I think Jamie Giddens from Daytime Confidential, he said it in a very clever way. He said that GH is putting all their eggs in one blue-eyed basket.
Yeah.
and they are,
Yeah.
So we'll see. Rebecca Buddick's last scenes are coming up in early to mid-August. And I'm trying to think what else is going on with that. Aunt Stella is going to be on her way out the door soon, which is fine. I like Vernie Watson, but yeah, she's great. But I'm a little tired of the Aunt Stella dynamic because if Curtis is hanging out with her, he can't be shirtless, and I think he needs to be permanently shirtless. So he needs to quit being a private investigator and be the local lifeguard, so I can just stare at him shirtless. He's a beautiful, beautiful man.
So
I love
my
him.
question is, I have a question. Do you think Carolyn should start watching General Hospital and maybe Curtis will go shirtless more?
Definitely. If that's the way it works, then you should double watch every episode.
Is that like, what's his real name? I mean, I could start tweeting tonight or
Donnell
his real
Turner.
name is Donnell Turner, and he is beautiful. He is a beautiful piece of chocolate, man. He is gorgeous. He is gorgeous.
Is he on Twitter?
He's on Twitter.
Yes.
It's Donnell, Donnell Turner, Donnell Turner, and you'll know when you hit the right one because he is gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Okay.
And a real sweetie. The fans love him, and he goes to fan events, and he also shows up for charity events, and he's, volunteering with special needs kids. And, he's just adorable inside and out. He is one of my favorite new people they've brought to General Hospital. And him and Billy Miller need more scene time together.
Okay. And his name is Curtis on the show? Okay.
Yeah, Curtis. Curtis
that.
Ashford. He was a former cop who lost his badge due to drug addiction, and then he's cleaned up his act, and he's a private investigator now, and he's just a big personality, and every person he works with on that show, he has great chemistry with, male and female. He's got a great bromance going. He has a good romance going. He's got a good friend thing going with Hayden, and his dynamic with Finn. He can literally work with anyone on that show. He's amazing.
And he's got a dynamite physique, you say.
All
right, I'm a man. I'm going to say I wish I looked like him right now.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those. He's so good looking, you can't even even as a straight guy, you can't deny it. He's hot. He's one of the hottest men on that soap right now. So.
And I want to say, think back. Did you both see the Emmys this year in April?
Yeah.
Okay, so
some
Carolyn, you did too, right?
Yeah.
All right. He was the first. He and Kelly Monaco were the first presenters.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think I saw him on the after show. I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's real funny, and he's always goofing around, and he's funny and just beautiful. Yeah. However, they have him paired up romantically with one of the characters I hate most on the show.
Oh, dear.
I like her as an actress. Yeah, Jordan is terrible. It's funny because she's the worst police chief that city has ever had in a city that is riddled with mob crime. And what's funny is the actress, Vanessa Antoine, was on a talk show, I think it was AfterBuzz TV or something, and they asked her about Jordan being a bad cop, and she laughed, and she goes, I know, she's horrible. She knows it, and she thinks, she doesn't write it. She can't do anything. Yeah, and she can't do anything about it. And she knows. She's like, it's so funny because it's like this former hitman is solving crimes, the local mob boss is solving crimes, this former spy is solving crimes. She can't solve anything. And it's just and she said, I know. She goes, Jordan's a loser. But that's not why I hate the character. She's inept, but she's a serial cheater who lied about her son's paternity for 22 years, and she only told the truth once his biological father was convicted of a crime he didn't commit and sent off to jail. He's the only one in the history of Port Charles that has ever gone to jail and didn't come back because the actor left and he's on primetime shows. So it's just convoluted things. She's terrible, and so he's like the best guy on the show, and he's paired with like just the worst on the show. So.
No. Well, that's our GH in a nutshell, Carolyn. Can we get you to watch?
I'll try.
You know,
it's probably a different. What time does it come on? I guess I'm down in Florida.
It comes on in different
2:00.
markets. In Georgia, it comes on at 2, but in some markets, it comes on at 1 and some on at 3. So, what part of Florida
it's
are you
2
in?
o'clock up.
St. Pete area.
It should be 2. It should be 2 p.m.
Okay.
there.
So I'll
On your local ABC affiliate.
Right after days.
It's a
ABC. Okay, ABC. Okay. I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's the good thing about it's hard for me to speak to getting to know a show like GH because I've been watching it since I was like 8 or 9 because my sister made me watch it. But then I came to Young and the Restless and Bold as an adult, and Bold is great because the cast is small. And
right.
Young and the Restless isn't so hard because everybody in town is related. So it's like you get to know these two. Yeah, you get to know the Abbotts, you get to know the Newmans, and you got like 90% of the cast. General Hospital is more like Days in terms of the diversity of cast in them not being related to each other, and it's got a big cast of characters, but they'll within an episode they'll have like 2 or 3 stories that they bounce back and forth between, and then they'll stick to the same like 2 or 3 each week, and then it'll switch over. The writers there love umbrella stories, so that helps. They tend to throw everybody into one overarching.
Yeah. For people's lifestyles today, I mean, years ago you could, not watch for, say, a month or 2 months, and then you would go back and you would see, you kind of know what the storyline is. Days, you really have to keep up with it.
That's what I'm noticing. I'm trying to watch, and with General Hospital, I think it moves at a pace that's a little slower, there are 9 million General Hospital wikis. It has so much social media attached to it that, if you don't know something, if you tweet, who is that, what are they, I'm new to the show, you'll get 80 responses telling you what it is.
Yeah, so it does make it a lot easier. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
The internet has made so much easier.
Yes.
Moving on to Y&R. All right.
Moving on to Y&R. Okay. Carolyn, we're going to make this quick because we got to tie up something.
Okay. And you get cut off at what time? 9 o'clock? Yeah, okay.
We got to do it before 9, yeah.
Okay.
Let me see. Where do I begin? Let's start off with Graham and Dina, and I agree with Ashley. I think there's some sort of depression.
Something is going on in her noggin, but her memory is impaired too. So I still think there might be some Alzheimer's or something cooking back there. But the depression, when she said that today, I was like, yeah. Or was that yesterday? But I agree.
Sure. Carolyn, we're talking about Dina Mergeron, Jack and Ashley Abbott's mother.
Correct, yeah. I remember from years ago. And she just came back, did she not? No?
She has been back about a month or so.
Yeah. About a month, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you know what I love, and this is an aside, and then we'll go back to the plot, about Marla Adams? I love that she has not had excessive plastic surgery, Botox, and fillers, and she looks her age, but she looks like an actual human person.
Yes.
Because some of the older actresses, when I tuned into Days the other day and I saw one actress in particular, I won't name her name, but she looks like someone has put the hose from an air mattress in her mouth and puffed her up. And she looks... We know who it is. They're getting lots of... She looks terrible.
Oh, yeah.
And I was debating with my husband because he said at least she doesn't look old, and I said she looks like a tick that's going to explode. But Marla Adams, who plays Dina, has aged extremely gracefully. She looks beautiful. And I don't like this Graham guy. I don't know what he's up to, other than getting a will in his name, and all that. But I do think he's really cute.
He's nice. But I'm going to lay name to our favorite YNR face group, Keeping Up with YNR, and I put on there, because they were talking about Dina on there, and all the things, and I put some, when it was mentioned about depression, I said, yeah, because it comes in many forms. She can be waxing nostalgic, like she was, and remembering the party games that she used to play way back when. And then you can have like a sort of a loss. She can be quite at a loss of like what was said like a few minutes ago, and not remember that.
Yeah.
And that is sort of like a depression forming. So that can happen. And what I think the other part I mentioned, I think it can be formed by a chemical imbalance.
I can see that. I mean, there could be definite symptoms. And do you know what I feel like might be coming with this, aside from her depression? But did you notice the other day she got on the phone with her broker, and she was investing in extremely risky stocks. She's got all that money sitting around, and Graham is already counting all that money as his. And she was making a large and risky investment, and her broker tried to advise her not to, and she basically told him, shut up and do what I said. And I wondered, is she going to lose her fortune? And
who is Graham? A boyfriend?
They're not sexually involved. He is her.
Okay.
They're not sexually involved, but he's her companion, and she has recently signed a new will and signed everything over to him. And her kids are wealthy in their. Yeah, the kids are wealthy in their own right, so it's not that big of a deal because she ran off out of town and left her kids. So she's estranged from her kids, and she's come back every now and then, but she didn't raise them. Not a good mom, but she's come back. She sold her company.
Is she Jack's mother?
She's Jack and Ashley and Tracy's mother.
Okay. I got you. I'm associated with the Alzheimer's Association, so that and it those are the signs: memory loss that disrupts your daily life, challenges in planning or solving problems, and difficulty completing familiar tasks. So they may be writing that into, and then the family will get involved if they find that Graham's going to, take all her money.
And she's mistaken one person for another a couple of times.
Yes.
Which I know that's symptomatic. Right. So, I mean, and if they could stop her, they could probably put the kibosh on that will, because saying that she was not in a capacity to make that decision. But the investments that she's making, that's a done deal. That money will be gone. Because I was wondering, and I had a note, like I keep these notes to myself, things to watch and think about, was, if she starts dwindling her fortune away, her little silver fox companion, there's no telling what he'll do. He might get even shadier. So.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes, poor judgment. That's another sign. Yeah. Poor judgment.
Yeah. There's a lot of poor judgment going on in Genoa City right now. Hillary cannot. I actually am really enjoying Hillary right now because she cannot be good. Like in theory, she wants to be, but she is just devious to the core.
I can't believe she went after that commercial.
That commercial, and she's going to get it. Can I say a spoiler? Spoiler alert. She's going to get the commercial, and then Jordan is going to be upset, and her rationale is going to be, Lily might not have gotten it anyway. But she wanted it because she wanted it, and she also wanted it because Lily wanted it. But what's funny is that she went and found herself another guy who wants her to be a better person, which is he's basically Devon 2.0. She needs to get with someone like Kane, who's a real pile of crap, and just, we'll be like, fine, do whatever you want, screw over whoever you want to. But she keeps getting with these men who want her to be better. I still am holding out hope for her with Jack, because Jack can be like that too, although he's, next. Oh, well, that was before he reconnected with Nikki. I'm fine with him being with Nikki. They did the impossible. They actually made me open to the idea of Jack and Nikki again, because I was like, this again, ugh. But they've done it well, and I'm on board with it. So, but for a while there, while Hillary was kind of stalking him, I was intrigued. But the bottom line is, Jordan
how's Nikki?
Even though
how's Nikki's health?
She had that flare, but it didn't seem to be severe because she made it through the concert, and then Victor walked out on her, and I think Victor leaving should reduce her stress level, which should reduce, anytime you reduce stress with a chronic,
Right. That just exacerbates it. Now, is Jack, is he, like, good to Nikki, better than Victor?
Oh, yeah. He, worships the ground she walks on.
Okay.
And she is going to be with him at the cabin next week, getting her groove back to some extent. And they're going to somebody's going to snap some pictures of them that are going to wind up back in Victor's lap, and it's fun. It's fun.
So not much has changed on Y&R.
It comes and goes. It is. Yeah, it's the situation they've done before, but they are doing a good job of, to me, giving it an interesting and fresh twist. So I'm okay with it. I'm cheering for it.
Okay.
And in all fairness aside, and I have to agree with Kane 100%. Victoria really is a stone cold bitch.
She is. She wants everything. She wants everything her way and on her agenda. She's been and what's funny to me was Billy getting indignant today on her behalf, and it's like, Billy, she's a bitch. She's been a bitch to you. That's why you're not married to her.
Oh, well, she's spoiled. She's the spoiled brat. Always has
spoiled.
She is.
I want to talk. I really hope Kane gives it back to her. I know he's done all this, but I'm rooting for Kane. I might be in the minority, but Sally's giving him good drama, giving Daniel some good meat.
Oh,
I really think so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, Kane is he's the worst right now, but his DNA is bad. I mean, look at Colin. Come on.
Oh, the poor thing.
Sally has done really well with this plot, and Daniel is killing it. That's why everybody hates him. And I do think you're in the minority, because everybody every day because I'll write, anytime I write a story about him, like I just did a thing because he may or may not actually take the money from the kids' college accounts to pay the blackmailer, but he's definitely thinking about it. And people are just like, he's the worst. What a pile of crap. And, they're piling on. Do you recognize the blackmailer? Do you recognize the blackmailer, Jesse?
Yes,
I mean, he's the cameraman.
Yes.
That's the cameraman from L.A.
The hockey.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
But the actor Max Adler, do you recognize him from anything else?
I don't remember.
He was on Glee for a long time. He was the bullying football player that turned out to be secretly gay. He's a great actor because when I first saw him on the LA scenes, I was like, that's Max Adler. And I thought, why did they bring him in for this little thing? So now with this blackmail thing, I'm like, that's why they he's not like a huge actor that, would cost a fortune, but he's somebody that if you watch a lot of TV like I do, because I do it for work, that he's very recognizable, and he's a really good actor. So, and every time I write about him, I always put in Glee's Max Adler to remind people, go back and check him out. So I love Kane. The funny thing right now, I don't know if you've noticed this, all over the Facebook groups and everything, everybody's mad about him whispering all the time now. Have you seen this?
I've seen that. Yeah, it's on our group, the one that we belong to.
Everybody's obsessed with his whispering, and it's like he's like feeling down in the dirt. Yeah, it's just funny.
That's just Daniel's way.
I'm honestly hoping that. Yeah. I'm still hoping that Jack comes back around to hiring him, and that he goes to work over at Jabot. And I think that will happen. Like I think Victoria is going to piss Jack off, and and because the main thing is Kane hates Billy, Jack hates Billy. Obviously, they need to get together and hate on Billy together. So
misery loves company.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've seen the end today of what's going on in Victoria's head. I actually don't think. I'm still back to. I think there's a health issue there, an underlying health issue, not just the her knocking her head.
Someone brought it up in one of the Facebook groups, and I sort of agree with her. I think it's a flare-up from her fall at Clear Springs.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing, and it could be that, and it could be just this thing. But I feel like that they're going to give her a medical crisis to draw, and you can already see it. It's drawing Billy in. It's pushing Phyllis out, because right now Victoria doesn't have any leverage to get him back, because Phyllis is hot sex and wearing the apron and nothing else in the kitchen, and a lot of fun, and Victoria's Victoria, ugh.
Yep.
So
that's just it. Well, we have our time is limited. That's our Y&R. So let's see what's coming up. Before we go, we would just want to say that our take down the August dates, guys, for our show. It will be the 10th, August 10th, Thursday, August 10th, and then Tuesday, August 29th.
Noted on the calendar. There we go.
Noted.
Okay. At the same time. Just because that normal week I am going to be very busy, and I wouldn't be able to control it, so that's why I moved it. Otherwise, I keep it the same.
Yeah, it's no problem, as long as we know ahead of time and can juggle a little bit. No, it's good.
The good news is the soaps will keep going, so we'll have plenty to talk about.
Soaps will keep going. A lot more. And I just want to bring up that, Belinda, do you have something going on tomorrow night?
I do have something going on tomorrow night. Thank you for asking. Right here on TQ Radio, it is the Big Brother 19 weekly recap show, and it's on at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern, and we'll be talking about the live eviction that is happening tonight, and I think we all know there's going to be upheaval in the house, and so I'll be on there and with Brandon and Renee, and we're going to dissect, and we're going to spend some time talking about Raven, because I just posted an article about is she dying or lying, and so we're going to dig into what's going on with her. A lot of people are interested and polarized, so check me out on Twitter at my username is BelyndaGT, BELYNDAGT, for my Big Brother and soap posts. And tune in tomorrow night for Big Brother.
Thank you, Belinda. CAROLYN,
Thank you,
does this one you want? Does this make you want to watch Big Brother now? Because she's getting me into it. I want to start because I have to I'm manning.
No, for some reason or another I can't get in. I can't get into Big Brother. I have a girlfriend. Oh my God, she's a hardcore fan. And maybe it's because it's just not on the time that's good for me.
Let me make the 10-second pitch to you. It is a real-time, live-action soap opera.
Oh yeah.
You don't. Let me tell you this. You don't have to watch the shows. All you have to do is spend $6.99 to subscribe to CBS live feeds, and 24/7 while you're cleaning the kitchen, while you're doing whatever, you put up the live feeds and you watch these people run around the house like idiots, terrorizing each other, playing pranks on each other, talking nonsense. One of my favorite websites about it is called Hamster Watch because they call them hamsters. Because I watched for years and never watched the live feeds, and then last year I started watching the live feeds, and it's better than the show. And you can just watch them run around. It is like people are trapped in a human living real life soap opera. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So. What do they call it when you're the maze? They're in a maze.
It's
trying to get to the end. Yeah, trying to get anything. What is it?
Trying to get to that cheese.
And there's other. What's that? Did you ever read that book? You moved the cheese.
Who moved my cheese? I did read that book back when I was a corporate flunky. I did read Who Moved My Cheese. That is so funny. Oh my gosh, yeah, and in real life. This is like real life. Who moved my cheese and who's trying to steal my cheese and who's pooping on my cheese. So it's like that. So
right. So one last message about soaps from you guys.
Let's just do
my message is always
keep them alive. Yeah, keep them alive. Keep the soaps alive.
Absolutely. That's my message, too. Keep the soaps alive by watching through legitimate links and apps, and don't click on the illegal Facebook links, because if you do that, you are helping kill the soap that you love. Watch legit.
Watch legitimately.
What you should do, because you're very informed on all this, is maybe one show. Just can you give out the links? Which ones are good, or what you would
watch? You mean watch CBS the app? Watch on CBS. Watch on NBC. Watch on ABC. Nowhere else.
Yeah, and ABC Go has an app, CBS has the app, NBC has an app, and NBC just put it on their streaming. We talked about this last night. If you click a link on Facebook to Daily Motion or to any other website or to YouTube, you are part of the problem. And everybody wants to, and people go in there and they ask, "Do you have the link for today's show?" Daily Motion is there. All that is stolen content. And so if you DVR, pay for cable. Even the cheapest basic cable has all the cheapest package has everything you need. You don't have to spend hundreds a month. You can spend $20 and do the right thing and help keep your soaps on the air. And watch it. If you DVR it, watch it within 24 hours. If you watch it on demand, watch it within 24 hours of airing, and that's how you become part of the numbers that count, that convince the network to keep them on the air. And so when you click a link on Facebook and you watch it somewhere else, you're part of the problem, and you are actively helping your soaps leave.
Well, that would be a good show to just mention that for sure, because I didn't know that. And that's important.
And I don't think people know. You're right. People don't know, because when they're asking for the link in Facebook,
educating
they just
them
don't know.
Very important, I think, to do that, rather than people floundering around and thinking that they're watching the right thing or listening or whatever they're doing, and then you say no, just firm it up and say this is the better way to go. So that's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to change until the people that run the Facebook groups start banning the links.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's it.
So,
well,
good
thank
night,
you.
ladies.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for
sharing that
today.
Yes, very good.
thank you for having us.
Okay, you guys okay, good luck on the Big Brother, and have a great weekend, and we'll see you on the 10th. The 10th, right? Yep.
Yep, we will see each other then.
And keep tweeting.
Keep tweeting.
Absolutely.
I see you're retweeting for me, Belinda. I appreciate that. It's all good.
All right. See you in 2 weeks. Or 3 weeks.
Okay.
See you in 2 weeks.
I can't do the math.
Bye.
See you then.
Good night, everybody.
Okay. Night, David.
Good night.
Get connected with Take Two Radio on Facebook or Twitter at Take Two Radio. For email updates on future shows, follow at Blog Talk Radio. For previous episodes, upcoming guests, and more, visit TakeTwoRadio.com.